Welcome back to SMPostcards. In this video today, got a couple things, a little change here. Got the what sold for eBay. I sold 17 cards, sold a lunchbox, and I'll show you what those are real quick and how my goals are going for the year and for the day and stuff like that. It's still been up and down. Then we're going to do a deep dive into Atlantic City postcards. I barely touched the surface on Atlantic City. There's so much out there, so much history, what it's doing today. I've been there only a couple times. My boss that I used to work for, director, lived right on the ocean there. We went out there one time. He had us come out. But I don't know a lot about it, so I wanted to learn about it. I see them all the time. But do they sell? And do you think they're worth more than what they are? Or are they selling for that? We'll find out when the sell-through rate and some pricing. And I got a little history on Atlantic City. That helps me out. And instead of doing viewer comments today, I got show and tell. I've been a little bit behind on getting those out there that everybody's been submitting to me. And I said, I need to get these done. With summer and stuff and other things I'm doing, just got a little behind. So I pulled them all out that I could use. And I got about 25, 26 submissions that we'll go through. So I'm not going to do any viewer comments at the end. But everybody submitted so much. You guys really came through. My bucket is empty right now. So if there's any that you didn't see that you sent, send them again. Maybe they didn't come clear, the messages or the photos weren't there anymore, etc. But just put in the title, show and tell. And then I'll try to send a message back to you when I schedule it and stuff. But we'll go through all those and that'll close out the video. But let's go get started on the items that I sold on eBay. It's interesting when you watch YouTube and you watch other resellers. You hear a lot, oh, I'm doing great, I had a great week and everything's going fine and real good year. And then 2 days later you see videos come out, I had a 0 day, a 1 day, it's horrible, I called eBay, everything's bad. Then the next week, so it's an up and down game. It always has been. When I worked in a retail place, there's Monday and Tuesdays we just didn't, or middle of the month sometimes nobody came into the shop. We didn't have anything to do except clean and maintain the place. And it's up and down, and our biggest days were Friday, Saturday, and Sundays and stuff. So it's always been inconsistent sales. With that, it's not all eBay's fault all the time. But is there some stuff going on with the platform? Could be, always will be. It's with every platform. I've worked in the technical field for years. We took stuff down, we had to. People blame that the servers are old and stuff. These things are probably in data centers. And just think, for eBay to be compliant with all the security and stuff that goes on in the world, do you think they're really running on 1980s servers and hardware and stuff? They can't be. They have to show that they're compliant being a public company. And there are certain rules and stuff like that with people's information that they have to abide by and have security. They don't want people going in there and messing with their system. So there's a lot more to it than people know. And I always say professionals don't speak out of their area. I can speak about technical stuff, but there are certain things, network and stuff, deep dives. I always had network people I brought in. I knew enough to get what I needed done, but if I needed to go down and get more advanced, I got a professional. If they wanted telecommunications and stuff like that, they contacted me. Professionals don't speak out of area, so people just be careful with the back and forth things on there. Okay, let's see what we got here. I had one person buy a lot of cards, 10 cards. So the first card sold was a Governor Spotswood Motel in Williamsburg, Virginia. It's got a multi-view swimming pool, just a chrome card. That sold for $475. Sold a Navy ship, USS Constellation, CV-64 aircraft carrier. It's a publisher card, standard card, chrome, $475. Then I sold the Monument Valley, Arizona-Utah border. I would love to live out there, but I live in Midwest. That's where I grew up, so probably in the rest of my life. That sold for $475. The next person bought 10 cards. And let me go through these real quick. This is from the albums I bought from a gentleman 2 years ago or something. And these are all New York and stuff like that. This is the Breakback Mountain, Hudson River, New York. Divided back. Keep these in order. I already pulled them. Next one is the Breakback Mountain from Storm King Mountain. This is the white border. Next one was a Powerhouse and Casino, Mount Beacon near Manitowoc, New York. Another divided back. This is the Powerhouse at Mount Beacon, New York. It's a white border card. Foot of Incline, Mount Beacon, Fishkill, New York. Who named their town Fishkill? Divided back card. That's Fishkill. It's like naming your kid Otto or something like that. And then this one is the Mount Beacon Incline. That's a chrome card, posted in 1960, and it shows the incline going up Mount Beacon on there, and it's posted. So that one's sold. Next one is Hotel, Casino, and Power Station. You see the theme here. He's pulling everything Mount Beacon and the casino and the powerhouse and stuff. This is a neat little card here. Divided back, it's got the powerhouse and the casino. That one is part of the 10. This is the Beacon Crest. I think it's a hotel on Mount Beacon. And that's a white border card. I usually see that. That usually once in a while I see that type of writing on the back card, that postcard thing. It's the hotel. And then the Cottages and Power Station on Summit, Mount Beacon, New York. It's a divided back, and it was posted 1909. So it's got a little inset right there of the place. And the last one he bought was the Switch, Mount Beacon Incline. This is the switch, and it shows an inset of the incline. So this was a really neat card, and that's there. So he bought 10 cards for $92.70. He got the 15% discount because he bought more than 3, and it goes up to 15%. $92.70 for those cards. That wasn't. I enjoyed that sale. Didn't take long to pull those because most of those albums I did in order. So it was like pull this box, and basically 3-4 boxes, and I was done. Then we got another person bought Park County, Indiana, Old St. Joseph's Church. Just a chrome chart of a church. Towns and cities for churches is what I find works best for me. Then here's the USS City of Corpus Christi, SSN 705. It's a submarine with tugboats around it. This is one of those lighter print. It's a color print the club made, and that's the Corpus Christi. And then this one is Williamsburg, Virginia, College of William and Mary. It's on that non-press paper, probably, what, 40s, 30s on there. That's the college on there, $4.75. Both those cards, all those cards sold for $4.75. Then this one looks like a real photo, but it's a chrome. And this was 1940. The $500,000 Downing Bridge over Rappahannock River in Tappahannock, Virginia. Too many words for me. But that's what it is there. That's a chrome card of the bridge. It's a suspension bridge like. And that was posted in 1940, and that was $4.75. So that was 17 cards for $119.34 total. And if I take $119.34 divided by 17, my average sale price was $7.02. And that big order from that guy really helped that out. But I also sold another thing. But it doesn't go for my goals. My goal was 16 cards a day. I met that. $80 a day. I met that. Raised my ASP. That went up for the day. For the year, it's kind of flat. And then be very specific about postcards. And I did that the other day. I bought some stuff at an auction that's very specific. I just wanted this. Paid up a little bit on them because you always have to when there are auctions online and stuff like that. But I got about, I don't know, 500 to 800 cards coming in. And they're very specific ones, so I'll be listing those. So my total for the goals is $119.34 for today. Now, I also sell lunch boxes. I collect them, and I sold this lunch box. This is the 1980 Clash of the Titans movie. No thermos. Sold it for $30. And it is a little faded on the one side, but I took pictures of all around and stuff, but $30, this will go out. That does not include shipping. The $30 is what I got for the box. They pay for shipping, what, $8, $9. These are a pound and a half about. Goes in a 10-8-6 box, real simple. And not much packing with it because it's metal already and it's not going to get hurt. So my full total for the day with the lunchbox is $149.34, which I'll take that any day. But like I said, sales are up and down. That's what it is. I'm not paying my bills with money I made this week or this month. I'm paying my bills with money I made 6 months to a year ago because I put it away. When the good times come in, I put money away. I have funds, accounts I can pull from to pay the bills for the month. I'm never worried if I have a $5 payout or $10 payout from eBay on a day. I don't look at it day to day. You'll drive yourself crazy. I look at it more of a month, quarter, 6 months, 9 months, and a year, and see how I'm doing for a year. I try to catch it by the 6 months so I can make any changes I need to do, but I don't go and change my business just because I had a bad Monday or a bad Sunday and trying to figure out why eBay didn't. eBay doesn't run your business. It's a listing site. Sure, they might have some things where they don't show your stuff, but how long has your stuff been out there? What are you selling? Stuff. And what is your pricing? Have you shipped it out on time? There's different things. Or they might just do things that it's part of it. Nothing I can control. So some days I sell 2 cards. I've never had a 0 day in a long, long time. But one day I sold 2 cards. It was a nice, easy morning. But put money away during the good times for the slow times, and you won't have that stress. That's what's sold. Now we're going to get into a deep dive of Atlantic City postcards. As I said, I don't know that much about Atlantic City. I worked in Philadelphia for years. I flew back and forth. I had a team out there and a team in Chicago and stuff like that. I did do some. I went out to Newark when we were talking about buying that utility. They wanted me to look at some stuff for a week, so I went out and did a analysis of their systems and stuff like that. But that's as close to New Jersey. I got friends that live in New Jersey. A lot of people that worked for me or whatever lived in New Jersey and drove over the bridges to work in Philadelphia and stuff. But Atlantic City has a lot of history, the boardwalk and everything like that, and I wanted to get to know a little bit more about it. I went out and found a lot of stuff about Atlantic City, and I pared it down to this that I'll talk about. I'm going to give you some paragraphs and some history on it. I got 2 facts on Atlantic City, and during that time I'm going to show you some postcards I found about Atlantic City. And if you've been doing postcards for a while and listing them and selling them or collecting, you've probably seen them. Now Atlantic City, a guy came in and said the locals call it AC. So if you hear the word AC, New Jersey, it's Atlantic City is what I get. Just like Chi-Town in Chicago. Here we go. Atlantic City, located on the coast of New Jersey, started as a quiet resort town in the 1850s. It was originally known for its beautiful beaches and boardwalk, which became popular spots for tourists looking to relax by the sea. The boardwalk, built in 1870, that thing's been around for that long, was one of the first in the world and quickly became a major attraction, drawing visitors who wanted to enjoy the ocean view and lively atmosphere. 1870 that boardwalk was put in. In the early 1900s, Atlantic City became famous for its entertainment and nightlife. It was the birthplace of the Miss America pageant, which started in 1921 and still continues today. The city also developed a reputation for its lively casinos, carnival games, and grand hotels, becoming a top destination for those seeking excitement and fun. However, the city faced challenge in the later half of the 20th century. Economic downturns and changing trends led to a decline in tourism, but in 1976, Atlantic City revived its fortunes by legalizing casino gambling. This move turned the city into a major gambling hub on the East Coast, with many new casinos and attractions helping to restore its popularity and shape its modern identity. Atlantic City postcards often capture the lively, iconic features of this historic seaside resort, with vibrant images of the famous boardwalk, bustling casinos, and grand hotels. These postcards showcase the city's classic charm and bustling energy. They also highlighted the picturesque beaches and nostalgic feel of vintage attractions, making them perfect mementos for visitors who want to remember their time with this dynamic coastal destination. So that boardwalk always sticks in mind because I see a lot of postcards with the little cars on the boardwalk, people walking, hotel overlooking the boardwalk. But that thing was built in 1870. Wow. Now, the two facts I got. The ghost of the Ritz-Carlton. The Ritz-Carlton Hotel in Atlantic City was rumored to be haunted by the ghost of a former employee. Guests and staff have reported mysterious occurrences like doors opening by themselves and strange noises, adding a spooky twist to the luxury experience. So if you go to Ritz-Carlton Hotel, let us know if you see any ghosts. Then underground swimming pools. During the 1920s, Atlantic City had secret underground swimming pools that were hidden beneath some of the luxury hotels. These pools were a unique and clandestine feature, offering a private escape for wealthy guests away from public eye. Underground swimming pool, I wonder if they're still there. When I went to upgrade center between grades 6 and 8 in a school in my hometown, there was a swimming pool in the building, and a lot of people didn't know about it. It wasn't a real big Olympic-sized pool like we had in our high school. It was a small pool with a deep end, but it went deep pretty quick. And that's where we were thrown into the pool, and we had to tread water for like 20 minutes or something to pass a test. And everybody was always worried about that test because the swimming coach was tough. But no, a lot of people didn't know about that. There was a pool in the school. It was right above the boiler room and stuff like that. They just filled it in about 10 years ago because we saw it in the paper. But it was a tiled pool, older school, and it was really neat. So it was a hidden pool as well. But can we gamble on Atlantic City postcards? Do they sell? Little chart here. I go through every video, just something I came up with to help me with my gut to say, is this a good card or not? I like data, so I needed something that falls in a range. The red there is 0 to 3%. If it comes out to there, I try to stay away from. They just won't sell as fast as the others. 4 to 10%, the average and high is where I work, divided back to Chrome. While I'm looking for those, I usually find the higher one. So anything in the greens, I want to pick up. But if I get a box of postcards and it has a lot of average and low in there, I'm going to pay $100 for this box of postcards. It's probably going to be $40 or something like that because they're going to sit in their average. But there's a lot of high and very high. I'm going to stay up at the $100 mark, maybe a little more to secure the deal. That's what this does for me. It's just a range. It doesn't get right down to the last card. It's a snapshot in time, and it's not pricing. It just is what's moving through eBay in the last 90 days. Not 2 years ago. I could care less what happened 2 years ago or a year ago. I want to see what's happening right now. Should I pick these up? Because going forward is the future. The past is the past. And I don't live in the past. I have a rear view mirror in my car, but when I'm driving, I'm looking forward. I just check what's behind me once in a while. And you still got to do that to not make the same mistakes. But you got to keep moving forward. People that live in the past are negative, and they can just not nice people. They need to learn what the future is and guide that future and make sure your car stays in the lane. Sometimes the future doesn't take you in the path you want, but you need to be able to put your turn signal on and make a turn or a lane change and not do it every day. If a car's going like this down the road, just like I talked about sales, people jump all over the place, chasing hills and valleys. That is not how you run a business, in my eyes. Not how I've been taught and experienced. You run a trend. Where do you want to be? Set your budget. I'm above my dollar budget. I'm below my card budget. And I'm right on line for my average sale price. Those are key indicators. If those indicators jump around, I'm looking down to see that one indicator. I can't fix everything. I can't have the best cards in the world, and I can't find the best cards in the world and pay for what I want and get my margin. But also, I watch my expenses. Just because I made an extra $100 this week, I'm not going to go out and spend it. I'm going to put it away for the slow times, or at least half of it, just for the slow times. So this is what that does for me, is sell rate. Then pricing is different, and we'll get into that. So I just went out there in the eBay and I put Postcard Atlantic City into the search thing. Postcard space, Atlantic space City. Came up with 1,600 sold in the last 90 days with 41,000 listed. You take the sold divided by listed, you times it by 100. Then you get a percent. I rounded up or down, so maybe this comes out 3.9%. That's 4%. People can't remember 3.9. Heck, I can't remember 4. 4%. I just know it's average. So 4% falls in the bottom of the average card. Why is that? That's what the data says the cards are moving for. Not the price, but the price can affect sell-through rate, because if you're pricing them too high, they don't sell. Too low, they, you know, what's wrong with them? You got to find that right spot. So 4% is just an average card. So I don't jump on Atlantic City as much. There's some, the older cards are probably too good. There's so many out there. But you got to bump it up against some other bigger cities, casinos and stuff. So I went out and picked some names. Postcard Las Vegas is 8%. That's more modern, a little bit like that, but 8% is still at the bottom of the high, still an average card, a lot of the Vegas cards. There are so many made. I think I got 100, 150 Stardust hotel casinos in there, in my boxes somewhere, something 50, maybe I took some out. They just don't sell, and they don't sell for that great of money, but some of them do, the older ones and stuff like that. You'll find, you always want to do a check to make sure you don't, most of them I find are average. Then you got Atlantic City, 4%. Then Lake Tahoe, another casino place, resort place, 6% falls right into 4%. And then Reno, Nevada, 4%. So I would say that it's an average card, fits right in there. So I'm done with sell-through rate. It tells me, okay, if I see a box of Atlantic City, it's going to be average. I'm not going to pay that much. They're going to sit and they're going to go for lower dollars. But like I said, there's some real photos and stuff. They sell themselves. This is for regular cards that you're going to sell every day. The real photos, the real old ones, they're going to sell themselves. So it kind of throws sell-through rate out the window on those. But this is the stuff I deal with all the time. So 4%. Now pricing, I didn't find a lot of extreme pricings for the cards. Yeah, there were some higher ones out framed or whatever. I throw those out and I throw the 99-cent ones out. They're not even part of my business. I'm not gonna make the margin on 99 cents. So I found 8 cards that start from high to low and around the average field. So let's go ahead and start with those. The first one is Pennsylvania Railroad Station, Atlantic City. Railroad stations, town, city, state, and the station, and train, and the titles and stuff, and the item specifics. Some of those, I've sold some of those for really good money. So Pennsylvania Railroad Station, Atlantic City, New Jersey, train depot. Is it a station? Is it a depot? 1910. 5388. It had 10 bids, and that just sold in July 14th in 2024. So $53, $51 for that. So if you get train depots and stations, check them. Some of them are average, but a lot of them go a little bit above average or more. I always check them. Then this is the Rolling Carts Parade, Atlantic City, colorized photo postcard. Colorized, tinted, whatever. $20. He just had a flat price out there, buy it now, and someone bought it. He's going to charge him $463 to ship that. He went $19.99 or send an eBay standard envelope. But that's a neat little card with all the cars there and stuff. That's a pretty good price, $20 for those cards. That's what I was talking about, those carts on the boardwalk. I've seen different ones. And then this is the Central Pier, Atlantic City. $17. You'd think these pier ones would do more. I get some of these older Atlantic City ones, and this is a pretty good price for that, because the pier cards I just don't find sell well. And some of the beach and the hotels, they just don't go for the money you think they would go for, so be careful with them. But this one sold for $17.50. Next one is Atlantic City Sky Tower. Now this was, I picked this one because I haven't seen the Sky Tower postcard before that I can remember. And it looks, is it a ride or is it a, whatever? Anybody know what the Sky Tower is? Is it a rotating elevator? I don't remember. I don't have the card, so I didn't read the back of it. Vintage 1960s. It's a chrome card. $17.50. That's a different one I don't remember seeing. But anybody leave in the comments about what that rotating tower is. It still there? The Sky Tower? Is it a parking lot or a restaurant? This is what intrigues me when I do stuff, as I find something new. And I go down that rabbit hole. Then the next one is the Diving Horse, Steel Pier, Atlantic City. I've seen the Diving Horse so many times, and I thought it was the greatest card in the world. Then you go and you do some comparison of prices and stuff, and this is what they sell for, $10, $8 to $10. Some don't even do that. But diving horses, you'd think they would do more. I bet you a real photo of it might do a little bit more. But a diving horse, I guess there's a restaurant about the diving horse or something out there too. One of my friends sent me a picture. They got postcards all over the walls. This one I have sold and seen before. There's the life-saving station number 30. I thought this was a super card as well. They sell $8 to $10. And I've had the lifeguards. I've had all these on there. And you'd think they would sell more. Because look at that card. Sailors, lifeguards, boat, coming out of the water. You'd think it would be worth more. What's holding these back? $12.50. Then here's a casino. This was the Playboy Hotel. I wanted to get the casino in here. I've seen this card. There's a couple different types of Atlantic City cards like this. I think there's a guy dealing straight on to you and stuff, if I remember right. In Casino, New Jersey, Jack Freeman Incorporated. I would probably take that out of title. I don't know what that is. Most people probably wouldn't. $9.99. That's not bad. I think the word Playboy Hotel did something with that, and just a picture of the people. But that's a Chrome card. $10. Then the last one, and if you notice, the prices went from 53 down to 5, and that a lot of them land in the $5 to $8 range. The last one is Royal Palace Hotel Beach in Atlantic City, $5.95, or best offer. So if you notice, they go from one end to the other. Pricing is all over the board on postcards. You just got to go in and make sure you draw a line in the sand. If you pay $2 for this postcard, what do you need to make the margin that you want to run your business and put money in your pocket? That's your bottom line. Then go from there. Now, if that card's selling at, say, $5 and you need $10, I wouldn't go down that much on there. If you paid it, maybe someone else can. Try to get as close to your margin that you need first, and then go out and look at the prices. If everybody chases the same prices all the time, then that margin will never, the line in the sand will never grow. So just, these are comparison pricing. By comping prices, just gives you a snapshot of what's going on. Doesn't mean you have to keep your card at, since this sold for $5.95, doesn't mean you need to go out there and put yours at $5.95. You can put it at $10.95, you can put it at $20 and wait them out. But there's a lot of these Atlantic City ones, and if you want them to move, if I bought a stack of Atlantic City ones, and I go through and list them, I probably, maybe 10% were good ones, the rest are average, I'm going to price them to sell for $5 to $8, unless I find something out there, because there's just some, like the diving horse, price it to sell, turn that money and stuff like that. But that's Atlantic City. I got some stuff in show and tell, I think, from Atlantic City or New Jersey, if I remember right, on there. But if anybody knows a lot about Atlantic City, sells good cards, got a collection, want to send a thing in for show and tell in the future, would be great. I learned a lot about Atlantic City by doing the research and stuff, but these cards, I don't get excited about Atlantic City. It's just one of those things. Las Vegas, I don't get excited for. You think I would? Reno, Lake Tahoe. Lake Tahoe probably does better sometimes than the other ones. What do you guys think with casino cards and resorts and stuff like that? Let me know. That's Atlantic City. Who knew? Show and tell. I always tell people to send them in. During the summer, it's hard for me with everything going on to go through and research and put these together and stuff. So I put them in once I get them, I correspond with the person a lot, and then I put them in a show and tell new folder in my email system. And I went and looked in there, and I said, oh my God, there's more in here than I thought. And I went through and I got 25 or 26 of these. And we're going to go through them in some of the comments from the people, and just to show you what other people out there that we're normal. Don't worry, we're normal. So the first one came from Wandering Ghoul, John's Vintage Emporium on eBay. So if you put your store name or your stuff like that in the, say, show and tell in the title and then the words, I'll try to get that into the messages here and stuff. So a little bit of promoting for sending stuff into the channel. So this is he wrote, this is the picture. Just thought I'd share an interesting real photo postcard he recently sold. Attached is the photo. It is sold for $16. It's an old ski lodge that is no longer open. It's from Stowe, Vermont. It's the round hearth. I came across 6 or 7 real photos of this place in the collection I picked up at a swap meet ski resorts might be a good topic. I think I did Sun Valley skiing. I did a skiing video as well. So that's a real neat one. If it's not there anymore, look in that real photo, it's clear. That's a nice one, John. Thanks for sending it in. Then this one was a little different. This came from John. I was at an estate sale the other day and I picked up a vintage travel souvenir piece. It's not quite a postcard, but I know you like novelty items. Yes, this is interesting to me. The little bear in the box there. And thought you might enjoy seeing it. I love all the different unusual souvenirs that people could mail back then. The fuzzy bear in a wooden crate is from Yosemite National Park and was mailed in the early 1980s based on the stamp. God, 1980s sounds so old. That's 1982 when I graduated high school. Maybe I'm just getting old. Even back then, there seemed to be some confusion on how to mail these novelties, as the side of the crate is stamped with 17 cents postage due from UPS. Yeah, look at the top. Here's a bear I caught just for you. And then they stick a mailing label on top of the writing of the thing. And then the post office stamps all over this thing. Postage due 17 cents. I always wonder how they mailed these things back then, and that postage on there, but they just, and that stuff, you probably can't peel that label off. It's probably on there for good. But they kind of ruined the souvenir. And the postage, that's an ink stamp on there, postage 17 cents. But that's pretty neat. It's a bear from Yosemite and on there. So thanks, John, for sending that in. Now, Dr. Chris, Fossil Forward Finds, sent this in to me. Hey Mark, another fun postcard to show and tell. This one is a fluffy bear. You can actually move the fur. And I think I paid about $5 on Whatnot with my intention of keeping it in my novelty collection for a while. Yeah, those are really neat cards. That's the brown one right there. And that's what the back, it looks like it's a foreign card with that postal on there. Carte Postal is postcard in foreign. And then it's got the bear. Sometimes you'll find fur and stuff like that. You'll find things with hair. There's human hair postcards out there. I don't have any. I think they're gross. But there are some out there. But I got this one. When I bought some postcards from Popeye, John, way back when and Whatnot or something, he sent this one extra to me. And this is the white one. And you can move the fur on this one. And I've kept it on there. And he's got a little eyeball in it. Let's see if I can get his eye. You can see his eye right there. But that's another one of those. Those are really neat cards. I think you could mail this in eBay standard envelope. It's flimsy enough. But they don't go, they're a novelty card. I don't think the prices are that high on them. But they are soft, like he said, and you can move the fur. Pretty neat. Thanks, Chris. Now, Carrie, we've been going back and forth with Coney Island and some other things. And she sent me a book. A big book. I'm going to go ahead and read her last correspondence we had here. It says, enjoyed your video on balloons and wanted to share. We live in Albuquerque from 91. Albuquerque, New Mexico is where the fiesta for the balloon shows are. From 91 to 95. So also attended the balloon glow, which they light at night. They lay them on the ground or light them up, and they put lights in the balloons to, like they're glowing. It's a pretty neat thing. We went there and saw it. It was memorable and worth the 45-minute wait to get out of the parking lot. You also said how much you enjoyed the fiesta experience. Yeah, I really liked that. That was really cool. I didn't go up in a balloon. It wasn't my thing. Photographer listed as Ed Dorson was my cousin. At the time, he was original photographer for Remax. He passed away 5 years ago and unfortunately never got any royalties from the sale of the book, which was sad. So glad you are enjoying it. She wanted to know how it was packaged, as I have some books that size to sell. So she sent this book to me from a place that sells the books, older books and stuff. And it was sent me to wonder how they packed it. This is the book that she sent, and we've been going through it. This is the Remax book, and her cousin did the photography in there. But just look at some of these balloons. There's the Mr. Peanut guy. Let me see if see if I can find that one. There's the Remax ones on there. Just loaded with stuff in there. And her cousin did a great job with this on there. I mean, these things are huge. So thanks, Carrie. I've been looking through this book, and I put it over by our table where we have our big poster of the Fiesta going out there in our little area over here. But thanks again, and too bad he didn't get any royalties from it and stuff, but just doing it was probably worth the fun of enjoyment of doing it. Thanks, Carrie. Next one is, he thought this one came from Sandy. It was kind of interesting. Maybe it's an hourly motel. I thought you'd be interested in this motel postcard. I passed this motel every day for 4 years on a bus going to New York City through the Lincoln Tunnel to go to art school. I would say this is one of the places that gave motels a bad name. I won't get into it, just note it was not a place to take your family on vacation. It isn't the Disney resort. I laughed when I saw this card and had to buy it, Sandy. Yeah, there's some sketchy places out there and stuff like that, and it's amazing how many cars are there and stuff, but that's a nice little New York motel. It's a nice postcard, and spent some money on it. Thanks for sharing, Sandy. Then since I do lunch boxes and stuff like that, Carrie, the one that sent the balloon books, also sent this to me. This is a Superman versus robot lunchbox. I've never seen this one live. A lot of Supermans out there do really well, the older ones, and this is the planes, the robot destroying stuff, and Superman going at it. Look what this thing sold for, $650. And there's no thermos. I pulled this out of eBay. She sent me the listing link, and I went and looked at it. It was made in 1954. Remember, 60s and 70s. I also grabbed it there. So if you see these older lunch boxes, check them out and stuff. But on Facebook, she said, on Facebook, posted on one of the eBay sites I follow, didn't know went for so much. Yeah, some of these are really good. And that's why I get into them and I collect them and trade. Right now I think I got most of my lunch boxes up for sale because I wanted to refresh some of the things and make a little bit of room. But I put a bunch up there and stuff. Thanks again, Carrie. Then Eddie sent this one. These two. I recently bought a lot of photographs. In them were some from World War II of an escort carrier, D-8-18 HMS Badler, which was built in the U.S. and airplane ones, including this one of the Ferry Fulmer. So there's a plane on deck, and then the other one is like the little aircraft carrier. So these almost straight away, he sold these almost straight away for Australia, quids, squids, or whatever they have over there, on an offer sent to buyer each. They are on their way to the U.S. These planes and ship photographs and stuff like that, there is a market for those. Don't pay a lot for them because you're going to make good margin on them when you sell them. There's a lot out there, but this is action, and this one's got a little weight behind it. These do well. I sell those little ship photographs that I got, the little 3x6 photographs, all the time for $7, $8, and I just mail them with a stamp and label and stuff. And they do sell. So if you see a military book, people collect these, especially with estate sales, stuff like that, like Eddie did here. They're going to move fast and stuff. So some might sit, like always, but I do well. Even 8x10s of these things, they'll sell. Thanks, Eddie. And then Julie, Sparky Go Home on eBay. Sparky Go Home. This was a book, I'll read it to you, about where you can buy postcards. There was no internet back in the 1960s. And this is how we did. Remember comic books? We could order sea monkeys and stuff like that on the back of the comic books, and we would save money up, and my mom would put it together and write a check, and we'd put it in there, and we'd get our thing if we ever got it, and it would be some cheesy toy or something like that. But we were excited to actually do that. Just think we had the internet, we'd be broker than we are today. Then Julie said, "Hi Mark, did I see in one of your videos that you have a lot of ship postcards?" Yes, I have thousands. I bought a collection from a naval club that used to sell them. So I bought their whole inventory. It popped in my head today with these magazines I won in an auction arrived. The newer back covers have lists of postcards you can order Can you imagine if you could still send away for some of these cards? I thought it might be interesting to you in spite of the bad price, or the bad picks, not price. If you'd like to see the other issues, please just let me know. If I were into ships, I'd be so happy to find this magazine. Are you familiar with it? Great content. Be well and thank you for all you do. No, I never went down this path of how they used to go. But I wonder if you could still contact, I doubt it. But Sea Breezes, and this was April 1965, and in there is a catalog that you can actually order postcards back in the day. I wonder what was the turnaround. You had to send a check, 1960s and stuff like that. A lot easier today with the internet. Thanks, Julie. This was a question that came to me. I get it a lot. Dave said, tissue paper stuff around postcards. So when you get a postcard and a lot, and it's got this like old plastic, I don't know, cellophane paper on it, he goes, what do I do? Is it costing more money? Is it worth anything? What I do is I take it off. It's just nasty to me. I never seen it where it would give me any more money, but it's usually old and tattered or whatever. I just pull off because I can't put it through the scanner. I'm not going to put that crap in my scanner. So he asked me, and I said, I just take it off. I guess a lot of people that get stuff like this, not for sure what to do. Is he damaging it or whatever? Yeah, I just take it off. What do you guys do when you get this postcard with this little cellophane, old crappy wrapping on it? So I just get rid of it. I don't think it helps keeping it, plus I can't put it through the scanner. Let me know. Thanks, Dave. This one is a picture from Dusty Digger Lease. I thought you might like to see this 1945 ski postcard that I sold it for a few years ago. $20 on Etsy, free shipping. It might sell for more these days. The caption reads, Ski Course, Squamish Pass, Washington. You're welcome to show this on your show and tell or however you like. Thanks for all you do, Lisa. This is a really neat postcard. Look at the older skis. There's the slope. There's all the people. It's a real photo. And you can see on the back it was 1943. It's got free at the top right, so it's frank mail, means free shipping. So it's probably during the wartime because it's free from a soldier and stuff like that. But that's really a neat one. It would probably go for that or more today, at least. P.S. I'm just getting back on eBay for now. I'm mostly on Etsy. I tried Etsy for a while, did well for a couple years, and then the fees just started eating me up. And quantity game over there doesn't work as well on eBay because the fees, the way they do it, there's no store fees, but it just started. Some months I had to pay Etsy and stuff. Their shipping and stuff's fine and stuff like that. I just wanted to get down to one site, so be careful about getting a lot of stuff up over there. A lot of fake postcards over there, a lot of digital images of postcards. The next one I got here came from Eric. These are called quad fold, mean fourfold to me, or fold out postcards. Foldable, and panoramic could be in there. I've seen them called different things. Don't ever get stuck if someone says something wrong. Just a crossover. I've heard quad fold more than anything. But back in the day, they would take these postcards and they'd be foldable, and you open them up and it's a big panoramic. Was watching your channel last night where you invited folks to send in anything or recent interesting involving postcard sales. I may have left some money on the table on this one, but I'm happy considering only paid $15 for it and sold for $50. Took offer from $55. It is a fold-out vintage postcard of Rochester, New York. $50. There's some signs on this one. He sent some blowout pictures. There's some signs on buildings. Not too bad. $50 for a $15 deal. I'd do it. Thanks, Eric. Next one is just a little link here, and I put this in the video description. If you go down on the postcard reference and below it says more, you'll see the details, and down there, and I put this link down there. What this is, Julie sent me, was the initials on the back of postcards, the publisher initials. So if you see A.F. Smith, what does that mean? Like there's one here, F.A. Ackerman's on there. There's A is F.A. or whatever. So it has all the lists. If you're doing that type of research and stuff, this is another one of those database things that you go out and look at. Thanks, Julie. This was interesting, and I'll tell you, when you buy lots of postcards, this is what happens sometimes. Brendan just wanted to show you one of the cards hidden in the lot I bought. He didn't know what was in there. Probably people selling it didn't know what was in there. This is the ill-fated Titanic of the White Star Line, which sank on her maiden voyage with a loss. I don't know. It's 1912. You want to be careful with some of these. There's been some redos of these things and stuff like that. But being it's posted on the back, 1912 is a good sign. But go out there and do your due diligence with this, because some of those White Star Lines can be really lucrative. But some of them, a lot of them are not. So you just want to be careful. But I like what he did here. If this didn't come in that top loader, that rigid top loader there, he found a good card, he put it in a top loader right away. What I do when I get a real good card, like these Halloween cards I got, these are semi-rigid top loaders. I put them in a penny sleeve, a Mylar sleeve, and then I put them in one of these rigid, semi-rigid top loaders. And we have them in the Ko-Fi store. You get them in packs of 25. And I have those in the store there. And when you get those, it protects them. It protects the side. And this is what I ship them in when they pay, because they're higher priced cards. I don't want any damage to them. So I put on a little sleeve, and then you slide the postcard in, and that's what Brendan did here. I like seeing that. Thanks, Brendan. Let us know what you do, how that comes out, if it's authentic and stuff like that. The next one was interesting. I had to look at this. He sent some blow-ups on there, but I left just this one picture here, Philip, for show and tell. This is what I like to see, show and tell. I'll put it in the bucket when you send a message and stuff. Just had my biggest sale, $225. Offer on a card listed for $250. This card was in my father's personal collection. I tell you, those collections that are coming out into the market are just unbelievable, and some of them. We're losing a lot of postcard people, which is a bad thing to see people pass away and stuff. But there is a positive. We're getting a lot of those collections out of those homes out onto the market that haven't ever been on eBay or out on the market. And there's some amazing cards out there. I fell into some collections and got them out to the collectors and stuff like that. Listing title, he put stunning, woman wearing dress with photos and postcards. Photography, real photo postcard. I love this card, so unique with the photography and postcard tie-ins. He sent in 2 emails because of the size and stuff, and I just kept this one, Philip. But look at that. The lady's got all these photos. She's holding like a postcard portrait thing. That is really cool. I would not have thought that would go for $225. That is great. Those are the types of things that just make your week, your month, your quarter, and stuff like that, is getting cards like that. So thanks. And this is Phil's Postcards is what you want to check out. Thanks, Philip. Next one is another one that I call, these are pull-out postcards, fold-out postcards, novelty postcards, a lot of different things on there. This comes from Alex. I thought you might want this for your show and tell. Thank you. Yeah, I like to see cards like this on there. This is, the first picture shows you it has a little inset on there, and then it pulls out with little pictures, so multi-view of the place. He also sent a picture. It's a rotograph company, so they did really good postcards and stuff. I did a video on rotograph on there, and then it sold for $12.95. It said it sold almost instantly to a guy in Lima, Ohio. Maybe I underpriced it at $12.95. There were some similar cards listed, not from Lima, in much better condition for less money, but it's okay. I bet this guy is pretty happy. Yeah, it just depends. Sometimes you put a postcard up and it sells right away. Don't beat yourself up. If you put the price up that you wanted and someone bought it, I'm happy. I don't care if I put a $5 card up and it's a $10 card and I got my $5, I made my margin. Yeah, sometimes you kick yourself, well, I could have done more work. It's over with. It's sold. But yeah, you always think, do better next time. But I don't think so. I mean, the condition's not bad for that type of card. Everything's still fold out. They're solid. It's a vintage postcard, ephemera. Wasn't made to last forever. Thanks, Alex. This one came from Lou from New Jersey. Never heard of Invincible Ink novelty postcards until I found one for 50 cents at a flea market today. 50 cents. Encourage kids to hold paper above an open flame to reveal images. What could possibly go wrong? Up there with lawn darts, those jarts that you throw up and they had the big things that come on people's heads. We used to toss them way up there too. And handgun-shaped Pez dispensers. Attaching is a pic of the card I bought, and here's the link about someone selling others. All the best. Yeah, I did a video on these a long time ago about the invisible ink. There's ones with heat. They want you to put an iron on there, not a fire, they said, and it says there's a little caption somewhere on these that says be careful, like it'll help. And then there's ones with water that you can dampen with a sponge. So check out that video. But when he's hitting, when you see it here where he's hitting the club on that guy, the guy is normally invisible, but over time he's become invisible because what they use, if I remember, is like a beet juice or vegetable juice that would do this on there. And I got it in that video. I can't remember exactly what it is, but that's how they did it. And remember, back in the day, they didn't have electricity a lot, so they had candles and stuff, and they would put it on there and stuff like that. But yeah, these are novelty postcards. I don't sell a lot of them. I don't see a lot of them. I see them in lots, or like you found at a flea market. But for 50 cents, that's not a bad price to have one of those in your collection. Thanks, Lou, from New Jersey. This is from Trevor. Oh, he sent this a while ago, I remember. I figured I'd show you the new lot of cards I just purchased, around 3,000 of them, including some boxes of used sleeve. I already found a Wiki Watching Mermaid card, and hopefully we'll find some more. So he spread it out on the table there. Look at all those cards. He's got stuff in the box. It looks like it was well packed. He's ready to go. He's getting things organized. He's going to start selling those. But that's what you do when you get a lot. It's just exciting to see what's through those and stuff. I'm not a big sorter. I get a big lot of cards that go on the shelves and boxes, and I'll just grab them out. I don't sort through and pull all the good cards out. I just kind of go as a flow and stuff, and use the time as I do there. But thanks, Trevor. Next one, this is from Michael Block. Michael is the president of the Wichita, New York Postcard Club, or Western New York Postcard Club, and Wichita Postcard, whatever. But they have a YouTube channel, and they do different things. I've spoken on there a couple of times, and they do different things with different postcards. They get in depth on there and stuff like that. And me and Michael's corresponded back and forth over the years. But he created a Facebook postcard. It's buy and sell. He said, I started a Facebook group to connect buyers and sellers of postcards. You can post individual cards for sale, and you can post links to your eBay store. You can sell directly to buyers without fees if you want to. Go out and check and sign up on Michael's Facebook thing. Also go out and check the WNY Western New York Postcard Club on YouTube and subscribe to that channel. Not every one of them will be what you're looking at, but they just have great discussions on there, and people talk about their collections and how they do a lot of deep dives on stuff and stuff like that. McDonald's postcards, just the airport concrete postcards I've seen and stuff like that. So thanks, Michael, for sending that in. Now this is from Ashley. Ashley corresponds a lot. Guess what I found? A Lewis Wayne. This postcard may not look that special, and it certainly wouldn't have looked like anything to me if I hadn't been educated. I found it while visiting London in April of this year. The dealer's price for this Wayne card, £1 English pound, or about $1.30 US. This is a really thin paper postcard. It was painted in by a child and cut unevenly out of a postcard coloring book in the early 1900s. But the key was the Lewis Wayne signature, which I recognized. I listed it on eBay on May 30th and sold it for full asking price of $29.95, $30 on June 10th. Paid $1.30 and sold for $30. Keep up the great work, Ashley. That is a pretty neat card. She's doing her homework, went out and saw it, saw that thing, picked it up. It's a tuck postcard on the back there, and she got $30 for it. Good job, Ashley. Thank you. And then this one came from Dan Thompson, One Old Buffalo. The way I read this, Dan, and if you guys read it here, learn at home in one evening. And this is from 1956. Others earning top money. Why not you? Make your fortune with postcards. It's a fun postcard money at home. Dealers, if it's money you want, this is it. Home Industries. Big folio of true success stories. How 2-cent postcards will make you rich. And you can send in for this and get and pay for this, and it'll make you rich. So it's one of those schemes. So he said, you might get a kick out of this. Someone on one of my Facebook groups posted this. I guess you can use. It has been around since 1956. So someone's out there sending the junk mail in there and trying to sell you a course or something already, just like they do on YouTube today. So everybody thinks they created the newest mousetrap. Look, they've been doing this stuff since 1950s. Thanks, Dan. Got some more stuff from Dan here. This is Mark. I sent you an old, this from Dan, also One Old Buffalo. I sent you an old Disneyland postcard and did not hear back at all. I thought you might get a kick out of it. We went back and forth and I was able to get it. Goofy is not politically correct back then. So he's a hunter, and the little ducks and Mickey Mouse is carrying a ivory tusk. So yeah, I don't think it's too politically correct. But Adventureland, I don't think that's there anymore. So if you get postcards with Adventureland, you want to check that out. There's a couple of attractions at the Disneyland and Disney World that went away. So you want to check those. I think this would be a pretty neat one, Dan, on there. But yeah, you're right, it wasn't there. But that's a neat card. Thanks, Dan. And then this is from Lou. He found 2 more of the reward cards in the lot I purchased. Attach our proper scans, the front and backs for you to use if you want. I took a couple, I think he sent about 4 of them. But these were London County Council, and these were those reward cards I talked about on videos that I don't know a lot about, and they're just coming in here and there, but I'm starting to become more aware. But when I read through this is more of a history. It didn't say like a car was stolen or a horse was stolen and a reward. So why would they call this a reward card? It says it right there. It says reward card. I'll blow this up and you can pause it and read it. What am I missing here? But this is pretty neat. These are the reward cards that I'm trying to pull some information together and see if I can do a video on them, because they are starting to pop up here and there. Thanks, Lou. And then this one came in. I left a comment on your YouTube channel or video today about pincushion postcards. My username on YouTube is the Rebel Depot. Yes, I see you in the comments a lot. Thanks, Rebel. So you may not have recognized that was me. Yeah, names I'm not the greatest with. I'll see different ones and stuff. So if I miss anybody's name, just correct me and stuff like that. And sometimes the names, I don't know if they're men or women. So if I say he or she, until I know for sure sometimes, just let me know. But no disrespect or anything. It's just I don't know on there. Here are the scans on a card I mentioned. I was really puzzled when I found it in a bulk lot that I purchased last week. Couldn't imagine what the puffy satin insert was until I saw your video today, and it all clicked. Yes, it's those penny pokes, those pin cushion postcards. And you know what, Rebel? I have gotten so many people with the same message. Now I know what this postcard is. Now I know what this postcard is. I never knew what this was. Yeah, me either. Until I got turned on to pincushion postcards, what these little they just thought it was decorative novelty card, but that's what they are. They were called penny pokes back in the day, and this is what they use for pin cushions. And sometimes there's some hidden messages behind the cushions, so you want to look at that. But watch that video and I talk about that. I did some research. I didn't know a lot about them either. I would get them and I knew they were pin cushion, but I just never knew the history of them. Thanks, Rebel. This is interesting, and you'll see this, how these postcard companies, publishers did this back in the day. Read this, and then we're going to go through each one real quick. Mark, this is from Dan Thompson, One Old Buffalo. On YouTube, he's Cyber Dan. Mark, more show and tell if you want. See pics attached. The first 2 show different locations, several hundred miles apart. So the one on the left says San Francisco, one on the right says Kennedy Island, and they're the same postcard. The other 3 are the same photo but look different. No Photoshop back. Even the clouds are different. And here's those other 3. The same one, but they're all different on there. So Dan's got the eye for that. So people will use same sky and do different things on there. And then the last one for the video, this just came in. Hi Mark, this came from Eddie. I recently sold the attached reproduction Cartes de Autre Fos. Not for sure if I said that right. Gave it a shot. And the buyer has now discovered the love of collecting postcards because of the history of them. I gave him details on your YouTube channel, so hopefully he will watch. Regards, Eddie. Yeah, this is a pretty neat card. If you look at those boots those guys are wearing and stuff, this is a reproduction of that card on there, but it's still sold. But it was a pretty neat card. Thanks, Eddie. So we went through Atlantic City postcards. Tell me what you think about those. Dig into them, see if you get any real good ones, and show and tell. My bucket's clear, so go ahead and send what you Canon, and just say show and tell. You can use this and give me some clear scans like this, and make sure your name's in there. And if you want me to call out the store when we do it, it'd be great. But I think this lets everybody see what everybody's seen. It got the same questions, same things out there. People picking up postcards. They're out there, all over the place. That's all I got for today. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next one. Here's some more of that fish. Bye.